You can push the coffee pictures.
Stand on this one.
Very practical.
Very practical, hard-working, grounded, solid green, who's gotten a 62-year-old woman with 2 new artificial hips standing on the desk. They're not that new. They're well-worn artificial hips. So I just want to thank you all for helping. We're going to need more help. I'll give you a word on that later. But the reason I'm here is obvious. Word has reached us. When we started looking at I think it was the Nanos poll that had greens across Manitoba with a big number. We started thinking, wait a minute. And then I was invited. That helps. Being invited helps. I decided I'm going to, if I can do anything to help, to have a breakthrough here. It'd be so great. And we do, as I know you all know as Greens, that once I got elected in Sandwich Gulf Islands in 2011, then in the election in 2013, in spring 2013, we got our second elected Green with Andrew Weaver in British Columbia. And then in fall of 2014, we got our first elected Eastern Atlantic Canadian Green leader in David Kuhn in New Brunswick. My favorite moment of a screenshot, I've still got it on my phone, is as the results were coming in from New Brunswick, there were, I think it was, the legislature there, I think, is just exactly, anyway, it was 24 Liberal, 24 Conservative, 1 Green. Because that's the whole House. And then, of course, it tipped a bit, and the Conservatives, the Liberals got a few more seats. But it was a wonderful moment because all the pundits had to stop and ask the question, what would happen if the Greens had the balance of power? And it was a great moment because the voting machines in New Brunswick had stopped working. So they were stalled as pundits on this one question for quite a long time. Well, it could happen, couldn't it? Because it was just stuck there for the longest time. Anyway, David Kuhn, as leader of the New Brunswick Green Party, won his seat in fall of 2014. And then we had the Prince Edward Island elections, and the leader of the PEI Greens, Peter Bevan Baker, won his seat. Now, the ingredients in each one of these campaigns has been strong campaigns, not a lot of money, great volunteers, and leaders who performed effectively in the leaders' debates on television. The only reason that the wonderful leader of the Green Party of Ontario, Mike Schreiner, has not yet won a seat, is that the Ontario media exclude him from the debates. Yeah, but PEI, and it was interesting in New Brunswick, the Premier of New Brunswick, the Conservative at the time, said, well, if you include the Greens, I won't show up. And the media said, well, we're going to go ahead without you. We'll leave you an empty podium. And so he showed up because that was pretty clear he was going to. When Harper said, if you, he didn't actually say if you include the Greens. He just said, we're not showing up. And initially the media said, well, we'll leave an empty podium for you, but we're going ahead. And actually, for what it's worth, Tom Mulcair and the Conservatives had figured out before the election began that between the two of them, they'd make sure that the leaders' debates didn't happen because I was going to be in them. So it wasn't till August that the other shoe dropped, and Mulcair said, well, I'm not in them either. I won't be there if Harper isn't there, and then you really don't have the media saying, well, go ahead with the debate with 2 empty podiums. If you wanted to force Harper to show up, you'd do what they did in New Brunswick. Anyway, these are key ingredients. So having leaders' debates where the Greens are in the mix, and then the leader performs phenomenally well, as James, who will be here soon, and we can say yay, but James Bedome has put the Green Party in Manitoba on the map in this election. People who weren't thinking about voting Green are now thinking, I think I will. My favorite story today that I've heard about is a voter in this riding who came in the doors of this office after the debates to apologize because he had refused to talk to David when David knocked on his door. He sent him away. And then he watched the debates. He came in and apologized and took a Green Party sign for his lawn. Oh. He turned around 100 years. This is a campaign we can win. Now, of course, I'm Green Party of Canada. We're separate parties and all that, but every time a Green wins provincially, it helps the whole country. Every time a Green wins federally, it helps the whole country. And the Green movement, yes, we are political parties, but we're also a movement. And we care about principle, and we care about issues. We care about achieving things. So we don't take cheap shots. We run ethical, hardworking campaigns, and we elect ethical, hardworking people. So I'm just so excited that David Nickarz here has a real shot. And to put it over the top, we're going to need more scrutineers. We're going to need more people to help leafleting. We're going to need a bit more of your volunteer time, or even a lot more of your volunteer time over the next 4 days. And I don't know, some of you have probably been knocking on tons of doors. I should get David to talk about how many doors he's knocked on. I just wanted to say thank you, and we'll mix around and mill around. And are you going to speak up here, do you think?
I'll say a few things.
Okay, yeah. So your next MLA is going to stand up, once extricate the older leader off the table. Once I get down off the ledge. Anyway, I just want to say thank you. How many of you feel that you want to make history this election in Manitoba? Volunteer task between now and voting day. Hands up. Okay, I see some hands. This is great. Thank you. I'm turning the desktop, not a computer, but a desktop, over to David Nickarz. Okay.
Hi, everybody, again. Good to see you all again. Of course, Elizabeth May. Come on, let's get another round. It's really nice to see all you here, and it's getting really hot in here. Up here, it's a lot hotter. A lot hotter up here. But we're going to, like Elizabeth said, we're going to need your help on this campaign. I've been to thousands of doors in this riding, probably more than 3,000. My team, which I want to give a little shout out to, is been doing amazing work with me. They've been to more than 3,000 doors in the last 4 weeks. People have taken time off work. We have a volunteer from British Columbia here.
Yay!
Andy Shadrach has been whipping me into shape at the door from day one. He says, nope, this is not what you do. You do this. And he's going to be on my shoulder like a little angel, telling me what to do in the future campaigns. But like we said, there's 4 more days to go. And we need help to clinch this riding and to get the first Green elected to the Manitoba legislature. Like Elizabeth said, this is history in the making. And of course, we'd love to get some donations, but we want more lawn signs out there. We need scrutineers. I'm going to have Andy talk about that a little bit more. And again, I'm really touched by all the support, and I'm glad you're here to see Elizabeth. We may have to have some sort of system. If you say hi to Elizabeth, maybe kind of mill around and let other people say hi. I don't know.
Is that Bruce coming in the door? Is that my
Yes.
deputy leader?
There's the deputy leader of the Green Party family.